Hey, coworkers.
Welcome to Coworkers Crime, the podcast where office chatter meets crime discussion.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Krystal.
Yes, we really do work together.
And yes, we're totally obsessed with true crime.
From water cooler whispers to cold case deep dives,
we're here to bring you stories that keep us chatting way past our coffee breaks.
So grab your coffee,
lock your desk drawer, and let's get into this week's case. So we realized while we were recording that people are meeting us for the first time, so we want to give a quick breakdown of who we are and why true crime, how we research, our rules, our boundaries, what listeners can expect, like when we're going to release, and then what we're going to release, which I think is probably something we're going to learn as we go. So welcome to Coworkers Crime. Rachel, let's talk about why we exist. You want to cover that? How we got here?
Yeah, how we got here. Well, let's see. We got here because we do actually work together. That is very true, as it says in our intro. And surprisingly, true crime is, I don't want to say something we bond with a lot of our teammates over, but there seems to be a lot of interest in true crime. And I think it's just because it's so readily available now, like 24/7. You can, get updates from Google on the cases you're following or, whatever. So it's a lot more prevalent, I think, now than it was even like 10, 15 years ago.
I agree with that. Yeah. We've worked, both of us have been with our company a very long time. And I would say in the last few years I don't remember having a whole lot of true crime conversation with my coworkers until a few years ago. So you're right, it like amped up all of a sudden. And we've been trying to do this for a minute. We've been talking about having a podcast. I think now the buzz of when is it happening? It gets busy, but we've made the time.
Life's busy. Yeah.
I'm very proud of us. We're doing it.
We made the time. And kudos to our teammates, our other coworkers who have been encouraging us and asking us all the time. So when's your first episode going to drop? When can we hear what you've got to say? What is your first episode about? And, while that has changed what our first episode is about, I think our direction in the podcast hasn't changed. It was, and I think will continue to be to, bring voices to the underreported cases. While those national cases are important to talk about as well, to get, interest, and who knows, maybe someone doesn't see the news broadcast, but they listen to our podcast to get information and someone may have a tip. But it's those underreported cases that I think you and I have been talking about for over a year now, just that, they don't garner as much attention, but they're just as worthy as those national ones.
Which makes our job a little harder because it's so hard, as we're finding out. It's our first case has changed so many times. And the first time I remember we were like, let's start with this case. And we listened to this one that scared me, which is the first case, documented case I can tell you that I've listened to and tried to research and had to stop because it freaked me out. But it is these cases that are underreported also have a lot less information out there to find than those high level cases. So it's really interesting to see what it looks like when someone's getting attention and what it looks like when someone isn't, and just how much is locked down. It's been something I've already learned, and we are just now launching our first one, and already I'm learning so many things.
I thought it would be a lot easier. I thought we would have all sorts of information, and then I think I go back to my recent going through a master's program where I would constantly get in trouble for using Wikipedia as a source. I can't tell you how many times I was reprimanded for that. So I will not be using Wikipedia as a source for any of our cases. You will never see that from me.
I did not realize how much of Wikipedia, complete sidestep, because people just put their information in and update it. It is not a very reliable source if you think. We make our own.
Yeah, we could add our own stuff that we wanted to. No, we won't do that either. But
no, we won't.
Yeah. So in regards to, looking into things, so sometimes I think some of our episodes may be short because there isn't a whole lot of information out there, but we want to just raise the awareness. And other times I think we might break them down into 2-3 parts just because there is a lot of information that we can get our hands on and we'll want to share it and do equal justice to both types of cases.
And it would be nice if we do end up getting to do a second one because we are seeing movement on them. I can imagine as a family member of a victim how good it would feel that someone is and that there was a big realization with our the what ended up ultimately being our first episode. I was thinking a lot about it the last couple of days. And I mean, this person just no one talked about them anymore. And no one and not even like, you want to leave a legacy, you think about passing away and you want to leave a legacy and you want people to remember you and remember you for good things. But man, if you leave this world unexpectedly and in such a unexplained way and no one talks about it, how sad for your family and how unjust that feels. So I feel a deep connection to what we're doing with these cases.
Yeah, and, along those lines, we'll want people to send us their suggestions. Is there a cold case in your town that no one's heard of or it's not well known, and let's dig into them. Let's try and at least raise a little bit more awareness or get people talking about it again.
And what's different about ours, I think we almost named this podcast not another crime podcast or true crime podcast because there's so many of them. We know that. This is also because we just enjoy it. I don't think that we're looking to cash in a lottery ticket here. I think we just enjoy talking to each other about this. We enjoy going through and learning things. I learned so much from Rachel all the time in and out of the true crime realm. I learned so much from you. And I think the time we spent together is in its own right. I love spending this time with you, but also just what a different way to look at things and have someone to talk with and have a shared passion like that. So, what did we decide on release?
Did we
Wednesdays?
say weekly? Wednesdays. Yeah, water cooler Wednesdays
Water cooler
with our
weekly Wednesdays. Yes.
yeah.
I really like how that worked out. So we're going to release on Wednesdays. Our aim and frequency is weekly. I don't know if that's overzealous of us or not. I think we can handle it.
I think we
Um,
can ask for a little grace if we don't post
yeah.
every week. I think every other week we'll definitely get something out there. Uh, Maybe we'll call those bonus episodes when we get them out every week.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the format, I think we want to go into cases, as Rachel said, that don't get a lot of attention, cold cases that haven't been solved, or cold cases that recently got solved that didn't get a lot of attention. But since we've started recording them, Rachel came up with a fabulous idea, which you'll see in episode 2, of where we kind of go into the history of how things work. I love that genre of our episodes, I guess you could call it. But we've kind of thought around, and I think we don't want to commit to any one type of episode. There are ones that we're going to care about. Is it court updates? Is it cold cases? Is it missing persons? But we do want to know what works with our audience. What do people like hearing? We're going to continue to do history because we like it and we're nerds. But that's for us. And hopefully people enjoy that one. Um, and we'll always do cases that are underserved. But I think we're going to evolve a lot. I found sparks of interest in different places just in the time we've been trying to prepare for this. So I think listeners can expect, as far as concrete expectation, water cooler Wednesdays. So let's
Yeah,
go with that's
absolutely.
what we'll
Water
commit
cooler
to for now.
Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And they'll get to hear from some of our other actual coworkers that we
Mhm.
discuss true crime with on a regular basis. I'm looking forward to having them as our guests for the day to discuss a case or two or just get their feel on what's going on in the world.
I agree. I'm so excited about that because they give us great cases to go off of. So when those cases that they've suggested for us come up, we are going to cameo them, get them in. So let's talk a little bit about who we are. So Rachel, go first. Start with just about you.
Yes, I'm Rachel. I'm from the New England area, born and raised here. Haven't left despite my dislike of the cold weather, but that's okay. And true crime, I guess, has been a lifelong, I don't want to call it passion, interest, a lifelong interest of mine. It goes back to, I mean, I'm going to date myself, but that's okay. It probably goes back to like the Pam Smart case. That's probably the first case I really remember following and seeing the outcome of it. And even to this day, just hearing like when the two juveniles got released and, Pam Smart is still trying to fight to have her sentence changed to be able to have parole. So, yeah, it's been a long, long time of true crime stuff, and it was so nice to meet, like, you. Then you were and I don't even remember how it came up about true crime, but I'm like, "Oh, there's someone else who likes true crime as much as I do? This is great. I'm not the only one who falls asleep to true crime shows because the narrator's voice is soothing." Like, I'm not the only weirdo.
It's even given our husbands things to bond over, like, "Oh, does she scare you too?" I remember one time we were talking, prior, I think, to the spark of us actually doing a podcast, and you said, "My hobbies are murder." I was like, "You can't say that." I'm not positive, but I think that's the wrong way to
What I meant was true crime.
Oh,
Yeah, I used to
I
say I'm
love it.
into murder,
Yeah.
not like that. So,
That's a
yeah,
good
that became the joke if I was ever in a pageant. "So what are your hobbies?" "I'm into murder," and then just stop and pause and see the reaction. But yeah, no, so true crime. I have since changed my wording to say true crime as opposed to murder.
yeah, fair. It's a fair way to do it.
So let's hear about you. Like, what do you
Um, so I am from the South. I grew up in Louisiana, spent most of my life in Texas, a little bit of time in North Carolina, so stayed South. I do not like the cold like you, but unlike you, I don't even play. I can't do it. Um, so I try not to talk about when things get cold here in Texas because Rachel's her eye roll is audible. Like I can hear it. She doesn't even have to say anything. I just know she's rolling her eyes. Um, uh, I I have a passion for true crime. I think that it's definitely evolved over time. I like to watch live court, as you know. Our boss knows that I watch court. I am a juror, and I tell him I have jury duty. I can't do a meeting at that time. It's verdict watch. Are you crazy? And I love his support of us. That's joking and not joking. But I it's strange how much like most of my recreational because I feel like now there's like now we do this, we research, and I feel like that's more of for the podcast. So I have like my podcast crime research and then the court cases and when it goes to trial or why evidence got thrown out. So I listen to a lot of lawyers on YouTube and I like interrogation. So those are the two things like personally when it comes to true crime. It wasn't always like that. My first it's weird because for some reason, and I know they're close to each other, but John Bonet and OJ were the ones that I remember. And I'm not like that's the first thing I remember about true crime, but remember start to finish, like you said, like where I watched it play out. Those and I mean, John Bonet's not really finished, but I feel like I got to really hook in on the beginning and see the evolution of what's happening with that case. So outside of that, my hobbies are plants now. I've just recently recently started loving plants. So I'll send some to Rachel to see how they survive the cold, and we're learning a lot there too. So,
they
uh,
learned that it does not survive the cold. If it grows well in the South, it does not grow well here
mhm.
in the
Next time I'm
Northeast.
sending you a heat lamp for your succulents. How do we like mimic Texas area? I think when we kind of talk through research and rules, we're very careful talking about things that even are alleged. But sometimes it's just, hey, we heard a rumor. Rachel and I are really big on those. I mean, I don't want to speak for you there.
No, definitely not rumors and not we're not gonna drop names if they're not in actual legal documents. We just don't do that to people. That's just not we don't want to become a legal case.
No, no, we don't. We don't. Uh, I feel like the circle of victims gets larger. You have the victim, and then you have their family, and then you have the pool of people who could have the suspect pool. So those suspects can be victims as well. We don't want to be putting names out there that actually have nothing to do with this and spend I mean, wrongfully accused in itself is uh, we could spend a whole other podcast talking just about the wrongful accused. I can point you to areas and I think we will do that. We heard this, we heard some other things here. If you want to hear some of the other things being said, go ahead and watch that yourself. We'll definitely point you in the direction of speculation. if you want to look into it yourself. But we definitely want you to remember to make up your own mind. We are not professionals. We don't know everything. Do your own research, make up your own mind. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with Rachel. So, again, if you hear something that we're talking about and think, oh, I actually saw a newspaper article about that, send it to us. We will point you in the right direction if you do know something or something. You never know what you know that's important. So,
I think, yeah, I mean, if you don't feel comfortable contacting like that local police department, there's always, I believe there's a Crime Stoppers
mhm.
in every, at least one in every state, I would assume. Maybe there's more in some larger states. You contact them, just drop them a note. That way you can remain anonymous.
Yeah, not a good idea to just call the FBI for everything, but that's
Yeah,
something
we,
I would
we're, we're not going to refer people to the FBI.
just gonna call the FBI, see what they say. Um,
Feel like that might not be our best course of action.
okay, so that's just a little bit about us. This was easier than I thought, also harder than I thought. But I think the hard part is we don't really know what this is going to be. And just in the time we've been planning it, it has changed a couple times. Even our name changed a couple of times. So
That's right.
um, I'm very excited to be doing this with you, Rachel. I love
Me
doing this
too.
together.
This will be lots of fun. It'll be fun. And we hope people, there's going to be serious topics. It's going to be serious, but also know that, we're trying to be as respectful as we can in all cases. And just, we may banter back and forth a little bit, but it's not taking away from the case.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a good point. When I go through editing, I'm like, I notice that there's a lot of nervous laughter sometimes. Like some of this is so heavy. I mean, it's like unbelievable almost. And you have to mentally remove yourself. Like I said, I've never in the years I've listened to things had to turn one off. And that one case that I'm sure we'll do someday, but putting it out there in the
Which was a
beginning.
suggestion from one of
Yeah,
our coworkers.
and
So
we
it's
are
like,
pulling her in when we do that one.
yeah,
I plan to punish her for life for that. That was so scary. I don't know why that one devastated me so much, but it is a very little known case. But I didn't want that one to set a precedent of this is what all our cases are going to be like. Heavy trigger warnings are going to have to come with that one because it just really messed with me. I mean, made me turn all the lights on in the house, turn off my
right.
phone, and I had to like turn on a cartoon. I was so scared. It just really unnerved me. So that you'll notice that, yeah, we banter and we play around. This is really important stuff. Sometimes it just has to be a little lighter. So I did notice, like I said, when I edited, we giggle. There's a couple of times we
I
giggle
do
about
have,
things.
it's a family trait. We are nervous gigglers in my family. So
We really lean into dark humor in my family, where I'm like, yeah, that's probably not funny to everybody, but
it's funny to us.
it's funny
Yeah.
to
But
us.
we are taking it seriously. And yeah, let us know what you think and what cases you want to see covered.
Yep.
And who knows, maybe we'll have some of these, our new coworkers, as we'll call our audience. Maybe they'll end up joining us for an episode here and there.
I definitely see that happening. I know a few people who've already been like, "Do I have to work with you to be able to come on? Because I'd love to talk about this case." Like, I don't think we really have rules. I I'm excited to see where we end up here. And
Me
I
too.
wonder about our talk cadence, how that changes, because I will tell you, I'm noticing I don't complete thoughts very often. I'm learning so much about myself. I don't finish thoughts. I start them mid sentence, change my thought. You catch that I do that a lot. You just told me that today. Hey, you said this and did the opposite. Very common, apparently. All right. Well,
That's all right.
how do we end this? I don't know how we end this.
I don't know. We'll see you on Wednesdays. Bear with us. These first few episodes might be
Yeah,
a little rough.
yeah, it's gonna be rough. I think for the fact that we've never done this, it's not too terrible. But yeah, stick around. We'll get better. All right. See you on Wednesday, coworkers.
Bye.
That wraps up this week's episode.
Thanks for listening, whether you're at your office, at your home, or somewhere in between. We're glad you're here.
Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Like what you heard, leave us a review and share it with your coworkers.
Got a case you want us to cover or office drama that feels criminal? Send it to us at coworkers.crimepodcast@gmail.com or check the episode notes for all of our social handles. Until next time, coworkers.
Stay curious, stay safe, and stay caffeinated.